3, 2. Wait, actually, you guys got to start playing, huh?
Ah.
Live from the Midwest Gaming Classic, it's America's favorite horrible gaming show. Guys, Gaines and Bear!
Right.
Ryan! Woo!
Do it live.
Right.
Wait.
Okay. So,
Woo!
Rob.
I'm starstruck. Larry, are you laying down by us? Because we are framed up for you being. Oh.
Okay, just keep going. Just keep going.
That's fine. We'll recut it. Don't worry, buddy.
We got this.
No, I thought it looked
All
pretty
right.
good.
So, Rob, why are we at the Midwest Gaming Classic, Rob?
Don't stand in front of Brian.
Well, that is a very good question. I get asked a lot. Why exactly is Guys, Games, and Beer at the Midwest Gaming Classic? And the reason is we like to drink. And Midwest Gaming Classic is one of the few places that lets us do it in public. So that's it. Sorry,
Okay,
we're done.
All right.
No, this is actually one of the. This is the Midwest's biggest, largest gaming convention. It's
Thickest.
most passionate
No, I'm
gaming
I
convention.
like the most girthiest. Well said, sir. Well said.
Some could say it's throbbing.
Some say it makes them sore, but All right.
All right.
So anyway, we have amazing amounts of retro arcade games. There's even modern gaming here. We have a bunch of indie game developers out here this year. Everything from board gaming, really, to classic video gaming, to current video gaming is here. And like every podcast on Earth, also, by the way, is here. Just saying.
Every podcast on Earth.
Hey, every podcast on Earth. Ah.
Okay, so we are going to make this really quick because we have a segment coming up after this. So we're going to really quick. We have a topic we want to talk about tonight, Rob. What is that topic, Rob?
That topic is worst gaming console ever. I think we're all.
We're still going with that. Yes, we're still
And
going
why?
with that. That was in the show notes. Did you not read the show notes?
No, but I thought we were like, I want to talk about how this thing happened today and that thing happened.
If we let Larry choose the topic, we're going to be free forever. So
Right.
It's true. I want to
But
give
there
you a
was
sweet
so
interview.
much action here today. I don't even know
So
why
not
we're-
only
okay,
did he not read the
fine.
notes, he also didn't listen to the last half-hour-ish of conversation about what we were doing.
That's entirely possible. All right, so who wants to start this out?
Real quick.
Oh, I think Andrea needs. So wait a minute. We have a
Pressure.
very special guest here tonight.
Hi.
And you are?
I'm Andrea Koenig,
And you were involved tonight in?
the Cosplay Contest.
She always wins something, and she's always one of the top ones in the cosplay contest. We've been doing it for 2 years now? 2 years now.
Two.
So, yeah.
I mean, I always cosplay. I don't always enter the cosplay contests.
Well, you've always been here, but the last 2
Yes.
years you've done the cosplay.
Yes.
And you are
So,
tonight?
I am Satsuki from Kill la Kill.
Just in case anybody who's watching, some of our players may not know, I had to make sure to. Yes, take the mic, Tom. Speak into the mic, Tom. So.
What? Take the mic, Tom, and you put it in my face. Yeah, no, Satsuki from Kill la Kill, great anime. I am essentially a raging bitch, and it's great. I love it.
Perfect.
Like,
Worst counsel,
seriously.
in your personal opinion.
Worst counsel? Anyone that I don't own?
Ooh.
Because I don't own it, and I want to play it.
Okay, all right.
That makes it horrible,
I'm
really.
good with that. I'm good with that. That is
It's-
yes. All right. Who's
What?
going next? Brian. Worst counsel. Going in.
Since there was a little bit of a war between two of these consoles, and neither one was really that great, I'm going to go with the CDI. Magna CDI. I had the 3DO and both of them were. I think they kind of were trying to compete against each other, and both kind of weren't that great. So I'm going to give the negatives to the CDI because I did not. Yeah, correct. So and then they they had the Mario and the Zelda, like, and the what was it all like cartoon and not good. So that's mine.
All right, Jacob, how about you?
Here, before we drive our listeners crazy, I'm going to slide that down there because I hear.
Yeah, I do too.
I would have to say it would be the Virtual Boy. Because that red just really burned your eyes, as well as the thing was supposed to be a headset, if I remember, but yet it had a stand that made you kind of like hunch over it. And if you wanted to play something for any length of time, you ended up having a hunch like Quasimodo. And, like your eyes would just go horrid from viewing the red.
You know what? I can see how that system will burn your eyes and chapped your ass.
It did have a really great commercial, though, if you get a chance. It
Oh.
wants your eyes.
It had a great commercial, and I loved that. I didn't actually have to own one. I got to play my buddies, but that was horrible.
Good contender.
All right, Matt.
Matt, it's really rude to drink a beer while you're talking.
Go ahead, Matt. Continue.
It's my beer. Well, it's actually kind of nice that happened because Rob already got his revenge, the Ouya.
Oh! Shots fired!
Next.
For me, I'm going to go with a little wholesome Christian fun and go with our Canadian brethren's Game Wave. It's okay. It's not probably the worst console ever made, but its game selection I would barely consider games. I mean, unless you want to play a sweet like VeggieTales Mario Party. But if you want to get down some good Christian family fun, I would avoid the Game Wave like a plague.
All right.
Yet both of us have tried to buy one.
Larry?
I'm gonna throw some controversy into there.
All right, throw some controversy in.
Based on its slotting in the continuum of video games, I think the television was terrible. It was terrible. I think you because you know what?
Why?
Because ColecoVision was so much better. It had a better controller.
But the
It had better
television
graphics.
came out earlier.
Yeah, but I mean it was just before, and so if you just waited a little bit, you would end up with a ColecoVision. Or if you're gonna just have a crappy system, you might as well stick with a 2600.
Hey. All right. Ryan, how about you?
I'm not sure if this counts, but I would say if you go to a mall kiosk, you get those bullshit 501 consoles. Yeah, every single time I've played one of those, they're glitchy as fuck. Half the games don't work right. The controllers are completely unresponsive. So, don't buy those. Steer clear of them. If those are even a thing anymore, they might be long gone at this point. So.
And we're pretty sure most of them might start on fire.
All right, Forrest.
Mine is a very personal sting. It was the mid-2000s. I had a flip phone from Virgin Mobile, and the N-Gage came onto the scene. It played MP3s. It played games. It looked like a taco. And within 1 month, the price dropped $100, which should have been a big red flag. But for me, it was like, oh, my God, $100.
I'm going to go out and buy it.
Just a small sample of how terrible it was. The MP3 player didn't work that well, and you had to physically turn off the phone in order to put in a new game. God, it still stings to this day. I had to go back to my flip phone.
Okay, I'm not going to lie. I still have my N-Gage, okay?
And you gotta talk like
Taco talk. Okay, so mine is the RCA Studio 2. Not that I don't own an RCA Studio 2. It's still probably one of the worst video games of all time. So RCA rushed this thing out to the market. It is in black and white. The sound is horrible and comes out of the system where it has sound. It just was just so terrible. I know they wanted to jump in on the market, and it was just such an absolute disaster from an engineering. had a fair amount of games for it, but it's a fair rare one because it was so bad nobody bought it. Rob, finish this up.
Oh, okay.
Because we need to get to drinking.
So as you guys probably know, I spent the better part of the last 3 years playing the bargain bottom basement of video game systems. I've lived it. Pretty much every fake PlayStation Portable I've played. But I think the one that really has taken the cake, possibly the worst thing I've ever seen, they made a fake Vita. It's just called the MP5 player. Yeah. It had a Vita. It had like a Vita-like box, and it had 2 controllers, and it emulated NES, Super NES. It did Genesis, and it did one other system. I'm trying to remember what arcade, and it did them all amazingly poorly. I mean, my God, the volume while I was reviewing it, the volume up button broke. Which was kind of thankful because after I turned it down, you really couldn't turn it up, which saved you from the horrific screeching speakers that were mounted in the back of the unit. The cancer causing plastic may have been a problem. The tiny screen. Oh wait, no. But the screen, it looked this big. But you see, there's a black border on a 4-inch screen, about an inch. So you were looking at a postage stamp in the middle of a black area. Horrendous. Just horrendous. And a $50 MSRP. Great stuff. So that is my worst.
All right, that is a bad one. All right, Rob, why don't you take us up for now?
And speaking of the worst, you are now on episode 300 of Guys Games and Beer.
I'm sorry.
Interviews coming next. That was it, boys.
All right, we're on it now.
Can I go change?
Yes, you go.
Good way to keep. This is Drunken Larry with Guys, Games, and Beer, and we're gonna do one of our patented interviews today, and I'm here with
Forrest Bauer from Bauer's Game Corner, and we have 2 very special interviewees today. Who are we talking to today?
Hey, I'm Michael Manheim from Digital Dreams Entertainment.
I'm the guy who does the drive-through voice for McDonald's from downtown Boom-Shakalaka. Voiceover guy.
And today, we're primarily going to be talking about Michael's new game. No, it just came out last year, correct?
That's right.
Did you say nude game?
No nudes.
There's no nudity in it.
That's Guys, Games, and Beers After Hours. We can talk about that next.
Just a lot of swearing. Mutant Football League, available on the Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Steam, and you could get it. It's available now. We released in January for $19.99.
So
Dude,
you do the
you're drinking
voiceover.
some beer here, and you're really slow, man. We're like
Yeah,
one question.
you know
in.
what?
Guys and broads and beer and whiskey.
Yeah.
Come on, let's get this thing
No,
rolling. What do you got for me, bro?
Actually, it's kind of funny. You kind of threw me with the nudity thing, and it's like, oh well, it is Saturday.
He does
and
have a nude game. Also,
I do love shirtless Saturdays, but that's not for today. That's not for today. That's not for today. So obviously, so a lot of us would recognize the voice you just did, and why would that be?
That's because I'm old school from downtown Midway Games in Chicago. Boom-Shakalaka. Voice of NBA Jam, NFL Blitz, MLB Slugfest, NHL Hits, and we could go all night, but you guys got to drink and get laid, so we'll just stop it right there.
And you're currently working on Mutant Football League. Or you did the voices for it.
I am a.k.a. Grim Blitzrow, the greatest sports announcer that ever lived. Let Uncle Grim tell you all about it. Tune in, turn out. No, you got to tune out, turn on, and get your mutant buzz on and blow your mind.
And
That's what we do.
What is Mutant Football League comparable to? What could we expect if we're sending people towards this?
LSD and football.
Yes. Okay, thank you, Tim. Whoa. Okay, so Mutant Football League. I designed the original Mutant League football on Sega Genesis, 16-bit, and Mutant League hockey. So same designer, different game, and it's kind of like an NFL Blitz style game. The difference is you're playing with mutants and monsters, and you can kill people in the game. So you could win by having high score, or you could win because you've killed all of my quarterbacks and I have to forfeit.
Now, is this through a company, or are you putting this out yourself?
So it was a love product, right? I mean, we have wanted to do this for decades, and we have a strong community, and we self-funded it. So the development team's about 7 people. We developed it in Kiev, Ukraine, and then we had a Kickstarter campaign, and we were successful on that, and that helped us cross the finish line.
So I gotta be honest. So here at the Midwest Gaming Classic, where we're doing this interview, they had this on a 30-foot screen, and I gotta tell you, it was gorgeous on a 30-foot screen. It just looked spectacular.
Oh, yeah. And Bomb Shady just took one to the lunch pail on that sack. And everybody knows Bomb Shady likes to play with softballs. Well, Mike, he's going to be playing with deflated balls the rest of his career. Be careful what you wish for, Bomb Shady.
So I've got a question over here. You work with EA closely. What was it like working with Midway and EA later on?
It was like being a spoiled rich prick, like it's like some, limousines and red carpets and a million guys to do one job. And I came from the old school where we had a factory on California Avenue in Chicago. All the pinball games were actually made out there. A couple, 100 workers putting them together. Their back room where the recording studios, where the sound guys were. There's a guy, Matt Booty, who basically runs Microsoft right now. All these geniuses. It was like they're in this dirty little smelly dorm room, kind of like here. Kind of like this. But we were like a meat locker to record. They are called the refrigerator meat locker. So I stood in a booth that was basically like the size of a refrigerator. And we did these great games, all those great games that came from Midway. And Michael's game in 93, those great arcade classics, to bring them back now and having tasted. Michael, of course, was with EA for a while. He got the good life, the hookers, the champagne, everything else. And then I got a little taste of that blow. Yeah, I got that. And then the arcade business kind of went south. We did a remake with EA for NBA Jam and NFL Blitz. And then Michael came to me and said, how about, doing Mutant Football League? And I was like, you got to be kidding, man. This is the ultimate game. It's everything I've always wanted to do. It's off the charts. It's M-rated right now. Is that right? Yeah. We're going to clean it up a little bit for the kids. We found out the kids really like it. But this is a back to the basics. We're a
You're
garage.
just gonna remove the blood?
Yeah. No, we're gonna stay. But when you say what it was like EA to like working with Michael, like we're the punk rock indie band. Like we actually record in a rock and roll basement where music is made, and we party and we have a good time, and we're putting it together. And you guys are gonna love this game and play beer pong. Like you play beer pong, play this. Get a drinking game for Mutant Football League. Folks at home, we're interested in what your favorite drinking game is going to be for Mutant Football League. You guys certainly will come up with a few.
It has to be kills, of course. Every time you kill a guy, you got to do a shot.
Now you were talking about how
He's dead!
It's not exactly like Blitz, though. Like, it's turn-based. How does that work?
No, it's not turn-based.
Oh.
This is action-packed.
No, this is
real
nonstop
time
action. So we were talking about, it reminded you of Blood Bowl. And I go, yeah, so our game has orcs in it. So does Blood Bowl. We have robots as well, aliens. So we have a mix of characters.
I don't think Blood Bowl has
right.
aliens.
And we're bringing new characters in the summer, and we're also releasing a Dynasty mode where you manage your entire team and your players collect XP while you play, and you can trade players. The project's a community-driven project. Our community kind of asks us, hey, can you guys put these teams in, and can you add this feature?
Well,
and we listen to our community, and we try to do what they want.
Well, and that's, so Blood Bowl is clearly in a world that was created, right? So it's part of the, yes, exactly. It's he's always on.
He's never off.
So is there kind of like a story idea of what this world is that creates this world, or is it just
we call it the Trump-opolis? So our world it's like the whole world goes to shit, basically. And you've got like 6 mega corporations that have taken over everything. And these sporting events take place of war. And they're all wrecking in.
So they're
tons
like
of money.
like rollerball.
Similar to that.
We're like determining properties
But
over battles.
We parody everything. Like in the game, we made the game. The reason I wanted Tim in is because he brings a lot of credibility to the project. He says, hey, this is an arcade sports game, and he's funny.
Right.
And this is a game
in a good
that
way.
When you play, and you must drink while you play because you'll have a blast, we want to make people laugh. And it's not easy doing comedy, right? Especially like in a sports game, but you will laugh playing Mutant Football League. And we parody everything in the game. The NFL, video games, politics, everything.
I've got a question about recording. So from the Sega Genesis, because arcade Sega Genesis with the original NBA Jam, to now, how much lengthier is that process for you?
I don't pay attention. I just read whatever's on the paper. I don't know. Just go in, punch out. It's easy. It's an easy job. You get paid a lot of money. I don't know what that question's all about.
Well, I think the spirit of that is okay. The bit size that Genesis game could hold.
I was being a little,
a little flippant.
That's a great question because in the original days, like NBA Jam, when I went from the arcade had a lot more memory, and we took our time with that. When I went to the first home version, everything had to actually be shortened. They were saying, I go, he's on fire. He goes, got to be shorter. He's on fire. Got to be shorter. He's on fire. Shorter. He's on fire. So actually, in the final version, if you go back to it's basically monosyllabic. He's on fire! And so now we can do whatever we want. We can pause. We have conversation. We have dialogue that happens, and it does not get interrupted by all the different plays. And we've got great character stuff. So now we're basically writing a sitcom. We have a platform for a sitcom, and that's what I've tried to bring to the game since doing Slugfest and Blitz. And this is the ultimate, like having this kind of scenario with this post-apocalyptic Trump world.
Yeah, so when we're doing, I write the scripts, and I have events, so we have to hit the events. But I let Tim roll. Like, he'll go off script for, I don't know, at least 40% of the scripts, and sometimes you just let the talent go, and some of it is so outrageous and nuts that you'll be playing the game at night, and you're like, how could somebody ever, like, where did that come from? And it's just out of his crazy, sick mind.
Because I can't read. I'm dyslexic. I just have to make this shit up.
And it's really fresh stuff, and it's hilarious, and it makes the game, right? And the game just is so edgy and is unique, and that's what we were going for.
Jeez, we keep talking about this. We got to see it. It's like
I know.
Like, well, show me the damn ribs already. I'm at a titty bar. Just you go up and just take the clothes off. We're sitting there for 20 minutes, guys at home are drinking, and go, well, show it to me. Show it to me. Jesus.
No,
like some crazy guy that bust up. I got the best game in the world. It's really good. So fun. There's like a post-pop world. Show it to me. You gonna show them? We doing a clip? Go to the clip. Set up the clip, Michael.
Tim,
put you on the spot.
All right, we don't do that.
Yeah, sorry about that.
You know what?
Please stand by. We're experiencing technical difficulty.
All right,
grab a beer.
Clip in 1, 2, 3, go. All right, that's your. Yeah,
okay,
you're gonna put in a clip later.
Not unusual. Tim has taken the train off the rails.
So I've got a question. You said you ran it on Kickstarter. How successful was the Kickstarter, just out of curiosity?
So the first Kickstarter we did was a complete disaster. And
no good.
We did, yeah, pretty much.
Nail on the coffin.
So we came back.
Puts up a brick. Can I go on? Am I throwing your rhythm off?
You sure are.
Clang, clang, clang goes the trolley.
And we actually made our Kickstarter goal on Super Bowl Sunday when Tom Brady was taking the Patriots into overtime to win the Super Bowl. And right when they went into overtime, we hit our goal. And that was so cool. And we did it in 4 days, like the second time. So,
Boom-Shakalaka! Michael was all, it was
Now, I've run some minor Kickstarters.
How do you
Was
think
that
went? Like, well, my team's losing the Super Bowl. I might as well support this Kickstart.
What was that like for you? Is it like, because at that point it's all just downhill, right? Or did it get more stressful? Because I know a lot of times with the Kickstarters, they get more and more popular. People want more and more and
Right.
more.
Well, I mean, the failing part was, yeah, it sucked, but the actually hitting the goal in 4 days was awesome. It was such a relief. It was fantastic. So I mean,
So there's a lot of plans for the game in the future. Anything on the back burner that you're just tinkering with right now?
A lawsuit. Feeling it out.
yeah. So after the lawsuit, after the lawsuit, so we would like the game to do well so we can continue.
You sound like Sister Mary Ellen. This is Mutant Football League. We'd like the game to do well. We want this game to kick ass. It's Mutant Football League. Go out and buy the goddamn game. Get your mutant buzz on.
All right.
That's how we do it with guys and beer. And what else do we do? We're the broads. We play guys and games and play. Come on now.
All right. Way to go, Tim.
Does this thing have an ending?
I don't know. So I'm going to say
I just
it's
to
a
the ending. Pretty good.
I just said
And scene. Boom.
Whoa!
available on Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Steam.
Now?
You guys, who the hell are you? Games,
Guys,
games and guys and drinks and a hell of a lot of fun here. Boom-Shakalaka, go buy it. And we're partying all night here, so come on down and visit us. Thanks, you guys.
All right, have a good night. We'll tag everything about this.
No, we're not going to play everything about this. We don't edit. You remember we don't edit, all right?
Tag.
You know what that was like? That was like the perfect date, and you kissed her and you got sloppy with it, and you walked out the door looking good, and then your fucking jacket got caught in the door, and you come back in like, I think I forgot my yeah. Come on now, and kaboom! Puts up a brick. Thanks, you guys.